Apple, the company that pioneered graphics interfaces in its heyday, made the greatest music player that shaped a generation, and is responsible for the biggest technological revolution in decades, not to mention, at the time of making this video, the most valuable company in the world, requires no introduction. However, although you and I still consider it a tech company, over the past decade or so, and largely since Steve Jobs' influence has faded, the company has begun to shift towards a much more software and service-based business model, and it looks like the first major breakthrough away from computer technology might be on the horizon. Today, I am going to tell you all about what might be Apple's biggest and most important release since the iPhone: Apple's own self-driving car. If you are interested and want to learn more, then gear up in your fancy futuristic seats and keep watching till the end. Project Titan. Now, this part of the deal is still a little rough, but we can still guess a lot from what we know. First off, it is pretty much a given that the car's chip will be designed in-house and made by TSMC, the Taiwanese chipmaker Apple also employs for their iPhone and Mac chips. For a while, it was rumored that Apple might partner with Hyundai Kia to make the automobile bits of the car, with reported plans for a $3.6 billion investment in Kia Motors. However, in February of this year, those companies came clean that the deal did not go through, and so that question is still in the air. However, what we can tell you is what isn't in the air, and that's the hirings. From a climate system expert from Volvo Car AB, a sensor engineer from General Motors Company's Cruise LLC, and multiple other engineers from Tesla of all places, it seems to me that they are now planning to do everything in-house. And with Apple's AI and machine learning chief John Giandria, the man who will probably be responsible for getting the software part of the thing settled, finally joining the team as well, I think they can pull it off. And honestly, if they manage to do it, I'm pretty sure they will be successful. Because while Tesla is too engrossed in the EV side of things, and their other competitors like Alphabet's Waymo focusing only on software, as Apple's exec Mark Gurman himself put it, the kinds of things we love to work on are those where there's a requirement of hardware, software, and services to come together. Magic occurs at that intersection. The timeline. Although fans have always speculated about what an Apple car may look like, for the longest time, that was always brushed away as fanboy talk. However, everything became clearer in February of 2015, when a mysterious van that was reported to belong to Apple was spotted in Northern California, which, as you may know, is the home of Apple itself. And what exactly was it that got this van labeled as mysterious? Well, as it turns out, the otherwise simple black van had something massive and unseemly attached to the top, namely a camera rig, and one with multiple cameras. And while at the time most people thought that this was something akin to Google Street View, others began to think something more serious was afoot. However, the presence of drivers in the vans and Apple's insistence that all of it was related to their maps quickly squashed those rumors. But as it would be later revealed, those few people weren't in the wrong, as according to the most recent reports, it was back in 2014 that Apple officially gave birth to Project Titan, which, you guessed it, is the name given to their automotive initiative. According to the Wall Street Journal, their sources claim that at that time, Apple already had hundreds of employees working on this so-called Project Titan. And not only that, they seem pretty serious about it too, with Steve Zadesky, Apple VP of Product Design, leading the project under Dan Riccio, Apple's head of hardware engineering. Now, the next few years remained quiet, and it was only 2 years later in 2016 that Apple next opened up about the project. Steve Zadesky announced his plans to exit the project, and soon afterwards, in July, the former Apple exec Bob Mansfield, who had retired from the company earlier in 2012, rejoined as the project's new head. And finally, in June of 2017, Apple's upper management finally opened up regarding it, with CEO Tim Cook himself speaking about, and as a result confirming the rumor, that the project was in fact real. We're focusing on autonomous systems. It's a core technology that we view as very important. We sort of see it as the mother of all AI projects. It's probably one of the most difficult AI projects to actually work on. Now, this actually happened because of software regulations requiring a lot more publicity. But whatever the matter may be, it worked. And since then, more and more cars have been spotted all over the country, all seemingly gathering data and testing the required information. While the past 2 years have been a bit of a wrench in, well, everyone's plans, with big companies like Apple taking a hit too, it's no secret that the project has taken a while to get a date. All the rumors. Just this week, reporters from Bloomberg revealed that the California tech giant is looking to not only hasten its efforts toward the car, but has started to finally realize what the project will look like. You see, for the longest time, the project was just meant as an exploration of different options, with the two main ones being a car that sold because of its electric nature, with performance and speed being its selling points, or one that focused on being able to drive without human intervention. And as we've already mentioned, they seem to have decided what exactly it is they're going to do, with the article claiming that under the leadership of Apple Watch software executive Kevin Lynch, the company developers are now focusing solely on the second option. According to the site's sources, unlike Tesla and other electric cars, which are only slowly increasing the self-driving functionality of already existing cars, Apple is instead trying to push towards a car that has a fully self-driving system in the first version. This is big news, guys, because while the project has been on and off since 2014, we finally seem to be getting confirmation that the company is taking this seriously. There have, in fact, been multiple indications of them doing just that. Starting in September of this year, Apple's former head of the project, Doug Field, after 3 years in charge, just left for a seemingly more attractive job at Ford Motor Company, who we can safely assume are working on self-driving cars of their own. And as a replacement, Apple picked their own executive, the aforementioned Lynch. Not only that, there have been job listings for that project as well, with a recent job listing reading that the Special Projects Group is seeking an accomplished mechanical engineer to lead the development of mechanical systems with safety-critical functions. You will use your passion for figuring things out to help design safety systems and to lead the testing and countermeasures of those systems. And that's pretty big news, because let's face it, as much as 1,000 people sound awesome, that's nowhere near the usual amount of people employed for ventures like these, and so you can now expect the project to grow much larger in scope as well as manpower, all of which, obviously, bodes well for the project. In fact, the news is so big that as soon as it was reported, Apple shares gained as much as 2.4% to $157.23 per share. What does this mean for Apple? The electric car world may seem to us a pretty recent craze. However, the fact of the matter is that the world's biggest companies have been trying to get into the business for a while now. Because, let's face it, we all know that the future, however it may happen, will be electric. But an electric car is only half of the story. Because you see, while we did say that Apple will be moving away from its roots, it doesn't mean they'll be cutting off their original strengths. In fact, far from it. Because while their most obvious competitors like Tesla might have a lot of experience in hardware and stuff, Apple has spent a lot of time developing and honing an entirely different skill set: software. And so, when you combine those two things, the answer becomes clear and the rumored vehicle starts to look a little less blurry. And so on that note, I'm going to leave you for today. I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. With that, take care, and I'll see you guys next time.